Hindi po yan ang sinasabi ni SAS. Sabi ni Pimo Daimo, ano pong ibig ipakahulugan ni SAS? Ibig sabihin po ba, wala nang paraan para kontrahin yan? Medyo nalalaliman po ako sa statement. Actually, ang sinasabi niya, malabo yung kaso. Dahil nga mayroong president na isinantabi ng Korte Suprema yung mga concerns ng mga petitioner, sabi nila, kung inapprove yan ng Kongreso at saka ng Senado, yung BICAM, sila naman talaga nag-approve niyan, walang ibang pwedeng mag-question na tagalabas. Okay? Ang pwede lang mag-question. Kung Kongreso mismo nagsabi o Senado mismo nagsabi na, teka, hindi namin inapprove yan, then yun po yun. So, pero kung sinabi nilang inapprove po niyan, valid yan. Ngayon, ang sinasabi ni Kong Ungab dito is it the same report? Ito ba ang inapprove? Kasi kung may blanco yan, how could you have known what you were approving? So, in other words, hindi ganun hindi swak ang Tolentino versus Secretary of Finance bilang president na isa-cite dito sa kaso na ito. Kailangan pa rin syempre tukuyin yan ng mga nagfa-file ng kaso para masagot din bago pa gamitin ng kalaban. Pero dun sa dulo ng kwento ni SAS, ng post ni SAS, ang sinasabi niya, the only way for such increase to be stopped is for the ang sinasabi niya, labas na kung ito ang ifa-file, madideclare lang na constitutional yung GAA. Kahit arbitrary yung kanilang pag-increase ng budget. So isa pa pala to na hindi ako sang-ayon. Kasi nga, ayon sa ating saligang batas, hindi pwedeng taasan ng Kongreso o ng Senado yung appropriations na mas mataas pa dun sa hiningi ng executive. So dito, mas mataas ng 17.3 billion as tinaasan ng Kongreso, the Senate and the House, yung budget. Mas mataas pa kesa dun sa National Expenditure Program. Kung mas mataas kesa sa National Expenditure Program, pwedeng yun po yung gawin na basis para i-declare ito na unconstitutional. Kasi nga nakalagay doon sa saligang batas yun. Hindi pwedeng mas malaki. Hindi pwedeng dagdagan. Pwedeng bawasan. So, ayun, good evening. The topic for today, vloggers and budget. Well, the budget is just primarily recapping and updating ourselves on what is happening, no? So there is, si SAS has posited a theory on her social media that based on the Tolentino case, you can check out her social media, her Facebook, SAS Logando Sasot page or account on Facebook. So she says that in the Tolentino case, the Supreme Court ruled that if the House and the Senate approve the bicameral conference committee report, then that's all there is to it. Kumbaga, they have sole discretion to do that. And the court will not interfere with the decision of either the House or of the Senate. Now, she presents a good argument, and yes, of course, the jurisprudence is present. But here's the thing. What happened here is that the bicameral conference committee issued a report, not necessarily going back to the houses for approval. They were approved by the representatives of both parties. What happens kasi is that there is a presumption. That's what the Supreme Court is saying, is that there is a presumption that these have been approved and so on. But the presumption can be challenged with contrary evidence. So in this case, in the case that is possibly or that has been filed by Congressman Ungab, I understand it's either already been filed or ready to be filed. So if Congressman Ungab is going to be questioning the legality or constitutionality of the General Appropriations Act of 2025 based on a bicameral conference committee report containing blanks, it's not going to be dependent solely on the BICAM report. What he's going to do first is to attack the validity of that report. Okay? Now, regardless of whether this has been approved or not, is it considered valid if there are blanks in it? Number one. Number two, if it is indeed invalid, then what is the GAA based on? Without a basis, without an agreement between the two houses, those two concurrent bills, the bills filed both in the House and in the Senate, will have to be still reconciled. Okay, that's one. So, ang sinasabi ni SAS is that based now on the Tolentino case, we cannot question the validity. But the thing with the Supreme Court is this. The one thing that we were taught in law school in UP is that always question. Even things that have been long established as precedent can be questioned, provided that you have a different set of facts or a different set of rules. So here, we can still question the validity of the GAA, even if there is a precedent, as long as you're able to present a compelling argument. Here kasi, one of the compelling arguments would be this. This is not the GAA. This is not what has been agreed upon in the committee. The committee clearly agreed on all of the provisions. So with the blanks there, that is not the committee report. In other words, we question whether the report that came out is valid or not, based on what has been approved by the Senate and the House. So there are still compelling arguments apart from the Tolentino case. So, however, this is not to say I disagree with SAS, because what SAS is saying, is that the legal arguments might not provide us with a solution with regard to the General Appropriations Act. What she's saying is that there must be an extra constitutional manner in which we can not just invalidate that, but to call to question all of these government officials who are responsible for this joke of an Appropriations Act. And it's not just the Appropriations Act that seems to be a joke on us. It's the ayuda, it's the policies of government to put their political interests ahead of the interests of the Filipino people. So I'm not disagreeing with Sas. She actually makes a good and compelling argument. I disagree, however, that that is the be-all and end-all of the case. In other words, the case is not just about the committee report, and it isn't about whether or not the two houses have already approved them. The question is, if the report that came out or that was presented to the drafters of the House of Representatives is the same report. Is it a true codification of what was agreed upon? Is it really the report that was approved? Are the provisions within that report the same as the provisions that were approved by the House and the Senate representatives at MyCam? Let me know kung hindi nyo naiintindihan kasi ulitin ko tapos i-rephrase ko para mas madali. Maganda tong sabi ni Carlos. The first attempt to stay in power was the fake people's initiative of Tambak failed. Yes, that's actually a good point and actually brings us back to the beginning. When did the dissent actually start? When did the dissent start to become organized and start to become more far-reaching? When former President Duterte held a rally in Davao City, the first Maisog rally, and said that we must watch out for this people's initiative. It appears, and as it has been ever since, to show an intent on the part of the House, led by Speaker Martin Romualdez, for their perpetuation in power. So remember, the budget is just one part of the dissent. The budget is just one of those evidence that we have to indicate na ito ang ginagawa sa atin nitong administrasyon. O, sabi ni Mario Rio, anong sabi ni Sas at ano puron ang hindi kayo sumasang-ayon? Sige, hanapin natin, lagay natin dito sa lalagay ko dito sa, actually, hindi ko sinabing completely hindi ako sang-ayon. Actually, in general, she makes a compelling argument. But, hindi ako agree na this is the be-all and end-all of the decision. Okay, wait. I'll put it on the screen. Tama ba? There. Okay, that's it. Here it is. So here, Sas says that, oops. She cites Tolentino versus Secretary of Finance. The Supreme Court says that if both chambers voted to approve the bicameral report, that is the end of it. The judge ruled, actually, the term judge is incorrect, justices ruled what should really be important is that both chambers of Congress approved the bill reported out by the conference committee. In my considered view, the act of both chambers of Congress in approving the conference committee bill should put an end to any inquiry by this court as to how the bill came about. In other words, this is constitutional. Sabi ni Sas. Ako, I disagree. Because we can and we are allowed to question even doctrines laid down by the Supreme Court. So, anong sabi ni ang turo sa amin is this. Regardless of how well settled the rule, you can still question it. You either present a different set of facts, present a different set of circumstances, or present a different argument. Okay. So in this case, Sas does make a compelling argument about the Tolentino case. But if I'm not mistaken, si Congressman Ungab will be presenting this. The Bicameral Conference Committee report that has reached the House of Representatives is not the same as what was agreed upon. Okay, so it cannot be said that the Senate and the House agreed on this, because how can you agree? How can that agreement be valid if there is an incomplete report? So, I don't know bakit kayo ganyan na anong nakita ni Cheese? Bakit niya sinabi doon sa Supreme Court mag-file ng kaso? Parang alam niya wala lang laban si Kong Ungab. That's incorrect. Actually, during his press conference, what he was reiterating was that it was the GAA or the GAB that had an issue. He was not, ang sabi nga niya is, you cannot question the constitutionality of the Bicameral Conference Committee report because it is not a law. So yun yung argument niya, but that is not what we're saying. What we're challenging is the constitutionality of the Appropriations Act. So ang hindi ko po maintindihan is bakit naniniwala kayo kaagad without seeing the balancing opinion. Hindi nyo pa naririnig yung sagot, sinasabi niyo na kagad, bakit parang alam niya matatalo na? Parang ganon. Bakit ready po kayo matalo? Okay, Goal Roger, yan po yung second, yan po yung second topic natin. So, chill lang, aabot tayo dyan. Huwag po kayo mag-alala and you don't have to flag. Chill lang po din, Sir Carlos. Sir Rex. Kasi nga, hindi pa, what happens in the Supreme Court? What happens is that you present both sides. You present arguments on the part of Kong Ungab and then on the part of whoever is going to oppose it, including possibly Senator Cheese himself or the Senate. So, pwedeng sabihin rin ng House at saka ng Senate if they become parties to the case na hindi yan po yung inaprubahan namin. And so they might try to turn it into an issue of facts. So if it is a factual issue, actually the Supreme Court will not make a decision. It can either, number one, send it to a lower court for finding of facts, or number two, decide that the go ahead to make a decision on the GAA. So these are theories. Don't presume that these theories will automatically be correct. But like I said, while SAS makes a compelling argument, I disagree because the question here might also be a question of facts, is whether or not what has reached the drafters of the House of Representatives are the terms that were actually agreed upon. And he posits that these are not the terms. Therefore, it is not considered validly approved by either the House or the Senate. Tolentino kasi, in the case of Tolentino, it presumes that the House and the Senate already voted on the bicameral conference committee report. Yeah, there's really a meow now because this cat was on the table. Sabi ni Mario Rio, mapipigilan ba ng hukuman ang may blank budget on time? Kung hindi po yung budget yung may blank, sir. It's only the bicameral conference committee report. Kung sakaling tumuloy-tuloy ang ipapasang petition ni Kong Ungab, baka di nakita ni SAS na may practical remedy yung sumpa ng Congress na budget. Wala na pong practical remedy on the part of the House kasi pinirmahan na nga po ng ating Pangulo yung General Appropriations Bill. So, ang isang nire-raise natin na issue dito nga is, or those numbers, ganito yan eh. Kasi maliwanag na yung House po ang nag-draft ng General Appropriations Bill na umabot sa ating Pangulo. Ang tanong is kung yung nilagay ng mga representante sa Kongreso o ang kanilang mga staff na mga numero doon sa para i-fill in the blanks yung Bicameral Conference Committee report. Kung ang ginamit nilang mga numero na yon ay yun ang numero na pinagkasunduan doon sa Bicam. Sabi ni Ma'am Ellen from Norway, so si Kong Ungab nag-file na po sa Supreme Court about this Bicam report. May nagsabi na he has filed pero wala pang official announcement eh. So my presumption is that he is ready to file. Hindi ko pa po nakikita kung actually naka-file na. Ulitin ko yan ha. May magsabi na naman na nag-file siya. Yesterday, dun sa comment section natin, may nagsabi na nag-file na daw siya. However, since hindi ko pa nakikita yung official na announcement, my presumption here is that he's ready to file or wala pa or he has not yet made the announcement of the filing. Sana nga po talagang magkahustisya pati sa budget at mapatalsik ang mga buhay. I wonder hindi pa po lumalabas si SAS ko. Okay, ma'am. Pinapresume po ninyo kasi na yung filing sa Korte Suprema will result in somebody getting fired. No, that's not the case. Kasi ang ifa-file lang po ni Kong Ungab kung didiretso sa Korte Suprema ay para ipawalang visa yung GAA. Wala yung tanggalan, wala yung impeachment, wala yung mga ganon. Huwag po kayong umasa dun sa kaso na ihahain sa Korte Suprema na may matatanggal. Not necessarily. Yung walang nakulong, di ba? Sinabi ng Korte Suprema, oo tama, nagkamali nga sila dito, hindi dapat nila ginagawa ito. Pero prospective. In other words, hindi nila gagawing pananagutan ng mga taong lumabag sa batas doon na naging subject ng kaso na yon. Instead, future. Yung mga gagawa nito in the future yan, paparusahan yung mga yan. So, naging prospective. Hindi po yan ang sinasabi ni SAS. Sabi ni Pimo Daimo, ano pong ibig ipakahulugan ni SAS? Ibig sabihin po ba, walang ng paraan para kontrahin yan? Medyo nalalaliman po ako sa statement. Actually, ang sinasabi niya, malabo yung kaso. Dahil nga mayroong president na isinantabi ng Korte Suprema yung mga concerns ng mga petitioner. Sabi nila, kung inapprove yan ng Kongreso at saka ng Senado, yung BICAM, sila naman talaga nag-approve niyan. Walang ibang pwedeng mag-question na tagalabas. Okay? Ang pwede lang mag-question. Kung Kongreso mismo nagsabi o Senado mismo nagsabi na teka hindi namin inapprove yan, then yun po yun. So, pero kung sinabi nilang inapprove po niyan, valid yan. Ngayon, ang sinasabi ni Kong Ungab dito is it the same report? Ito ba ang inapprove? Kasi kung may blanco yan, how could you have known what you were approving? So, in other words, hindi ganun hindi swak ang Tolentino versus Secretary of Finance bilang president na isa-cite dito sa kaso na ito. Kailangan pa rin syempre tukuyin yan ng mga nagfa-file ng kaso para masagot din bago pa gamitin ng kalaban. Pero dun sa dulo ng kwento ni SAS, ng post ni SAS, ang sinasabi niya, the only way for such increase to be stopped is for ang sinasabi niya, labas na kung ito ang ifa-file, madideclare lang na constitutional yung GAA. Kahit arbitrary yung kanilang pag-increase ng budget. So, isa pa pala to na hindi ako sang-ayon. Kasi nga, ayon sa ating saligang batas, hindi pwedeng taasan ng Kongreso o ng Senado yung appropriations na mas mataas pa dun sa hiningi ng executive. So dito, mas mataas ng 17.3 billion as tinaasan ng Kongreso, the Senate and the House, yung budget. Mas mataas pa kesa dun sa National Expenditure Program. Kung mas mataas kesa sa National Expenditure Program, pwedeng yun po yung gawin na basis para i-declare ito na unconstitutional. Kasi nga nakalagay doon sa saligang batas yun, hindi pwedeng mas malaki. Hindi pwedeng dagdagan, pwedeng bawasan. So, mayroon ng mga provision, katulad ng provision sa 2024 budget, na wala talaga sa National Expenditure Program at all. So, hindi hiningi yun ng executive, and therefore, sabi ng saligang batas, hindi dapat ini-increase yan eh. So, pwede rin yung i-declare siya on that basis. So, dalawa na yung grounds mo. Either yung BICAM report or ito, or both. So sabi ni Floyd, bago natin talakayan yan, pero agree pa rin ako kay SAS, dulo. Sabi niya, the only way for such increase to be stopped is for the majority in Congress to vote no. I disagree that it's the only way, kasi nga mayroon pang pagkakataon sa Korte Suprema. But the court will not necessarily agree with us, di ba? Pwedeng sabihin ng court, teka, kailangan nito ng findings of fact. So, ilipat muna natin yung kaso sa Court of Appeals. Ano ba nangyari dito? Sino ba ang pumirma? Tama ba yung pagka-fill in the blanks, etc. So, magtatagal pa yan. Pag nilipat yan sa Court of Appeals, maghihiring doon on the findings of fact. Ano yung findings of fact? Bakit may blanco? Unang-una, may blanco ba talaga? Kung may blanco, sino yung nag-cause ng blanco? Kung may blanco, mayroong nag-cause ng blanco, deliberate ba yung cause ng blanco na yon? Kung deliberate yan, sino nag-fill in? Yung pag-fill in ba dyan, may mali siya ba yan o wala? So yung mga findings of fact na i-determine yan by a trial court. The Supreme Court cannot determine that. So that's one possibility. The other possibility, sabihin ng Supreme Court, wala kaming nakikitang kaso dito, i-dismiss na lang namin ito. Pangatlo, pwede sabihin ng Korte Suprema, sige, we will take cognizance of this case. We will give it due course. Pag sinabi nila, we will give it due course, okay yung dalawa, magkomento kayo, titingnan natin kung anong issue, tapos magde-decide sila. So, hindi pa natin alam kung paano pupunta ang hukuman. So, pero, matagal na rin natin sinasabi dito is that mayroong mga political solutions. Isa yon yung rally. Isa yon yung pagpipilit natin. Isa yung option na hingin natin ang resignation ng mga tao who are responsible for this completely, how do you call this? Incoherent, incompetent, and possibly corrupt budget. Okay? So, and that is that is a political solution. So, either we vote all of these people out of office or we ask them all to resign because this is no longer a tenable situation. Grabe na ang ginawa nila under the 2024 budget by giving away ayuda almost in the amount of 800 billion pesos. And as I said before, 800 billion pesos that did not go to infrastructure, that did not go to rescue and relief, that did not go to our farmers, that did not go to reducing our taxes, that did not go into government services, that did not go to our trains, that did not go into roads and bridges and all these other things that make life easier for us. No, it did not. Instead, it went into unnecessary giving away of money that did not result in any development and did not ease the lives of people at all because it was arbitrary. Walang katuturan. Hindi natin alam kung kanino yan ipinamigay. Hindi natin ma-check kung ito ay kung may mga naligaw na pera dyan. Hindi rin makita. And there is no measurement kung paano napabuti ang buhay ng mga taong nabigyan ito. So, I agree with SAS that we have to do something about it. And hindi talaga natin maaasahan parati ang mga cases to be filed. Diba? So on that one, we agree talaga kami ni SAS. Sang-ayon kami pareho. Kasi ang tingin ko dito is that, the cases, they only make you feel like there is a procedure na meron kayong pupuntahan, meron kayong tatakbuhan. When the fact is, we must take matters into our own hands. Which means na we might have to take to the streets to show the people that we no longer legitimize their presence, their occupation of the positions. Naintindihan nyo na yung sinasabi natin tungkol kay SAS? Sabi ni Crisostomo Ibarra, alamin natin sino yung mastermind ng nag-fill in the blanks kasi nagtuturoan na sila. Tapos ngayon, gagawa na naman sila ng diversion through the Quadcom para maligaw ang attention ng taong bayan. FICOM naman po ngayon. And yes, that's our next topic.